We're talking about Craig Wright. Now, who in the hell is Craig Wright? Let's talk about cryptocurrency for a second. Today's crypto, Bitcoin's going off at about $61,000 today. Bitcoin is not the genesis of crypto as we know it today. There's actually a couple of other tokens. We have to go back to when I was committing crime in the early 2000s. We had this thing called e-gold. E-gold was basically cryptocurrency minus the blockchain, used by criminals worldwide to pay for any number of criminal goods and services. A very successful platform of payments. It got shut down. Turns out it was used for laundering money by criminals like me. It got shut down. The guy got sentenced to several years in prison. After that, another crypto token, another precursor of crypto popped up called Liberty Reserve. Liberty Reserve, that person that started that, I think he's still on the most wanted list today. Those are the precursors of today's cryptocurrency. There was a gentleman by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto that comes up with a white paper of this thing called Bitcoin. And that is the genesis of all cryptocurrency that we have today. What makes Bitcoin so successful is the distributed ledger. So think of it as every transaction is on a ledger, and that ledger is distributed throughout an entire network. If you have Bitcoin, you can download the ledger and have part of that yourself. So that ledger really matters as far as the legitimacy of that token. Everything is tracked all the way through, and it's immutable, okay? That's the technology. That's the main important thing on Bitcoin, and that's what separated Bitcoin from e-gold and Liberty Reserve. Now, no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. No one knows that. The guy disappears. A gentleman, an Australian, by the name of Craig Wright, comes out a few years ago. Guess what? That's right, me, another shrimp on the barbie. I am Satoshi Nakamoto. He starts proclaiming this stuff, and he has some backing from some very influential people. Anyone who comes out publicly and says, no, your ass is not Satoshi Nakamoto, he sues them into the dirt. And that's been his modus operandi for the last few years. Now, what's interesting is that he has no proof whatsoever that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. The real Satoshi has access, or should have access, to several $1 billion in Bitcoin, which has not been moved in several years. The real Satoshi should have access to accounts that Craig Wright does not have access to. So lo and behold, over the past couple of months, there's been a group called COPA, which has taken Craig Wright to court to really determine and say, hey, you are not the real Satoshi Nakamoto. What we found out recently through this court case is that Craig Wright has forged documents. He's forged white papers. He's changed things. He has no access to the wallet keys whatsoever. And at the end of the day, no, his ass is not Satoshi Nakamoto. And that we're looking right now for the final disposition of that case, which should be coming up very soon. This is part of the problem with crypto overall. You've got a lot of charlatans, snake oil salesmen. You've got a lot of people that come out talking and proclaiming that tokens are the next big thing, and they rip a lot of people off. Craig Wright is no different in that. He's just a high dollar one at the end of the day. My advice, be careful out there. Do your research. Don't just sign on to Reddit. Don't just sign on to Discord or Telegram and take anyone's word for anything. Do your own research. Don't invest. Don't believe anything until you're able to verify it.